Welcome back to Law and Crime. Thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. I'm joined here by Bob Hille, trial attorney. We have a lot to get to today. We just heard the prosecution's opening statement there. Again, this is in the penalty phase of Michael Gargiulo. We know that he is facing the death penalty or life in prison. Bob Hille with us. What do you think about that opening statement? This is all we've heard so far, and this is the same jury that already convicted him, so they will make the sentencing.
Generally, too, in the sentencing phase, if the evidence was strong enough to convict, but there were some issues about the evidence, the underlying case, it may go well for the defendant in terms of the most severe penalty in the penalty phase. I don't think that's going to happen here. The prosecutor, the state, I think very skillfully focused on three areas. His history of 9 acts, I think I counted, of terrorizing women, the horrendous nature of his crimes, and as a consequence, the depraved nature of this individual, all aggravating factors which would support the most severe penalty under the law.
Right. This is a well-known case as well. This has been in all the media, lots of coverage here. So he hit all those things, as you said. Let's go on and listen to the defense because we have their opening statements as well. Let's listen. All right, so the defense in their opening statements in the sentencing, one of the things that the attorney mentioned is Gargiulo's siblings and how none of them are coming to testify, but he did say that Gargiulo's son is expected to take the stand. His son was only 8 years old when Gargiulo went into custody, so that should be very interesting. Bob, what do you think of the defense's opening statement there?
This is a tough spot for the defense attorney. As we said before, the state established that the terror this man inflicted on a number of women, the horrendous nature and his depravity. Really, innocence is not an issue here, so the only thing he can offer in support of this defendant is mitigating facts that explain his conduct and why it should warrant a lesser penalty. Obviously, the son is going to try and humanize the defendant to get the jury away from the underlying evidence that led to his conviction, although they're going to be reminded of that by the state. So it's going to be a real tough case for the defense to get anything less than the most severe penalty here.
So you think he'll end up getting the death penalty?
I think it's likely that he will. I think California may have a moratorium on the death penalty, so what's interesting is I guess these cases are proceeding as if there were a death penalty, but whether or not California will abandon that, like for instance New Jersey did, remains to be seen, and whether or not he winds up getting it and then being executed under it, are things that we'll have to see.
And if I recall, he has another trial that he has to stand after this one, right? So that one, I believe, is in Illinois. So if he does get the death penalty, how does that play into this?
Well, as we know, you can only execute somebody once. I'm not sure, what the charges are going to be there, but I think it's going to be another murder charge that he's facing for the young girl he may have killed when he was young. Right.
It was the 17-year-old woman, Trisha Pacaccio, who was stabbed to death on the front porch of her Chicago home.
But what's interesting is if there's a death penalty in Illinois, I think there may be, and they get the death penalty for him in Illinois, and California has the moratorium or abandons it, he could still be subjected to the death penalty in Illinois if he's convicted of that crime.
Wow. All right, we will have to wait and see what happens. Again, we'll be following the sentencing phase of Michael Gargiulo's trial here on the network, so continue to follow us for that. We got to take a break right now. Stay with us, plenty more after this.